This is Tice. I'm Tices Jackson, and I am the Conscious Giver in Chief. And I'm so excited to launch the second giving guide, Conscious Giving Guide. And this year we have some amazing people again that are featured in the Conscious Giving Guide. And we're doing things a little bit different. So we absolutely have a theme song this year, which is so much fun because it's been a rough year. So we really all needed that time to just shine a little bit. And so I'm so excited to have all of our conscious givers featured in the Giving Guide to be a part of a program today that we're doing for Giving Tuesday. So you may have been inundated with a lot of emails from amazing organizations. And I hope you take the time to read about their work and to support them. And I want you to also take some time to learn about why people are inspired to give during Giving Tuesday and all year long. So I'd like to welcome Minda Harts. Minda is absolutely amazing. I feel like I know her because I spent so much time on social media following her and then also reading her best selling book, The Memo. And so, first, let me welcome her before I start to talk about so many things that I'm excited to talk about today. So, Minda, thank you for being here.
Happy to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me.
Great. So, I was going to like brush up on the memo first because I felt like, oh, it's been so long. So, I went to go find the book and I realized that I have given away my copy twice, and I've actually bought a copy to give to someone. And so I was just like, it's time to order it. And so the book didn't come in time. So I said for Giving Tuesday, I was going to go to Mahogany Books in DC and to support a small independent Black book company for the first time to buy your book for the fourth time. So, but it's
Thank
just
you.
that good.
Thank
Just
you.
that good.
Shout out to Mahogany Books. Yes, we did a when we were out in the world. When I did make a stop in DC, we partnered with them, so it was really awesome.
Yeah, no, they're absolutely great. But one of the things that we're talking about today, because I feel like you give so much. So conscious giving is giving with intent um, for impact. And I see how intentional you are. And the memo really speaks to all of that. But just in terms of, like I said, following you on social media, I'm feeling like I know all about you, but you're very intentional in the gems you drop. Sometimes we get jokes, but particularly just how what you're giving back to others. And so this year, when we were sitting down to decide about who we wanted to feature, you were absolutely someone that I thought about because I see it like sort of woven through all through your life. So tell me about like where did that come from about that giving spirit that you have?
Yeah, well, again, thank you for inviting me to be a part and thinking of me. I really have to give credit to my parents because I grew up from very humble beginnings, but one thing that they always instilled in me and my brothers was this spirit of generosity. Even if we are down to our last dime, could we offer somebody a couple pennies, right? And it was something that we all always noticed about my parents, and then also that trickled into our lives. And as I grew up and to an adult, it was something that I didn't stop doing. It was it started with church, right? And for those who tithe, right? And so my parents were always like, give 10%. And so even outside of that, I realized that I always wanted to be generous in whatever ways I could. And because being generous is a privilege, and I realized that, right? But we all can do it in our own way. And so it's something that I always keep top of mind.
Yeah, it definitely is. One of the first activities that when I actually got into philanthropy, I was really interested in Black giving because I felt like it was so different,
Yeah.
and it's really based out of the church and understanding like that experience and particularly in this time during COVID, there's so many organizations that play such a central role, including churches. So tell me about, this year with COVID happening. what kind of like nudged that you felt like it was really important for you to support an organization or support a very specific cause?
Yeah, this year, like you said, it's been an interesting year for all of us, right? What is that saying? Been the best of times, it's been the worst of times, and I really felt that. But for me, I realized, there's someone who's probably in need even more than I might think I am, right? It doesn't take away the things that I might need in my life, but I also thought about who are those people who are also maybe feeling like the world is crumbling in certain ways, and I really started to think about how can I be even more generous in certain ways in this time period. And I had given to various organizations throughout my years, but this year I was a little more intentional about how I wanted to do that, especially during COVID. And I thought about who are those communities who could really use the help right now, and I started giving to the human utility group, because their tagline is dignity for everyone every day, and they're an organization that helps people pay their utility bills. And in this time of quarantine, when we're all inside our house, you're going to need your heat, you're going to need your water, those sorts of things. And so I've been giving to that organization throughout the year.
Yeah, I it's so funny when you this is your featured organization in the Giving Guide. So just to share with everyone, every conscious giver, while we're profiling them, because the intent of the Conscious Giving Fund is to actually create more conscious givers. And so we want people to be more intentional so that we can make a greater impact in the world. And so every conscious giver actually featured an organization that was near to them or they really felt like the call. And specifically this year, I asked for organizations to address both of the pandemics that occurred this year, that's still happening, our COVID and racial pandemic. And so it was supporting organizations that was really affected by COVID. And then secondly, a BIPOC organization, Black, Indigenous, People of Color led nonprofit, because we know that they are 24% more likely to receive less resources than white led organizations. And as someone who runs a nonprofit and works with BIPOC nonprofit consulting, I've seen it happen so much. So this organization, Minda, you hit both of them, because there was that piece of COVID and really addressing that, but then also being a Black led organization as well. So it's great. So, so tell me, so I think, I don't want to make it like it's, I really think that, as you talk about, um, some of the work that help of organizations that you supported over the years. Is there anything else? Because I want to bring it home a little bit more for people to think a little bit more about their own personal journey and giving. Is there anything else that between the organizations this year that you knew about, and then ones that raised awareness that they did really well that sort of made their case? Because I always think there's a great opportunity for us to learn from conscious givers, and particularly nonprofits. So is there anything that you would say that just really was highly effective for you this year in terms of everything that's happened?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think, oftentimes, even I'll say this for myself, when I was, new in my career and not making a lot of money, I used to think, wow, how can I still be a conscious giver, right? When I'm barely paying the bills and things like that. But what I realized was there was always something that I could give, right? And on those moments where I might not have had it monetarily, how could I give in service, right? So then I would donate my time at nursing homes and things of those sorts, and hospitals. And so I often encourage people to think about what giving looks like for them. We all have the capacity to give in some way, shape, or form. Even if you go inside your closet right now and say, you know what, quarantine weight has gotten the best of me. I can't fit that. Who can I give this to? uh, I'm feeling that, right? Like there's ways that we can give right now, and it starts with those small acts of courage, right? And it's not about how much, it's the impact in the heart, giving cheerfully, giving happily. And even in this time period, as we close out the end of the year, thinking about how do you want to make an impact in someone's life, right? Even if it's giving to uh, a collective fund, right? Where they're raising money for a larger goal. You get to be part of that in some way, shape, or form. So don't think about comparing yourself to what others can do. Think about what your capacity is and what you're able to do, and start there, because again, a little turns into a lot, right? And it starts with just that first gift, and never think that what you have is not enough, because somebody will be so happy that you thought of them. And I know throughout my life, there's been opportunities where people have given to me when I've been in time of need, or I benefited from certain scholarships from people. And I just think it's so impactful when we can give, and you just never know what that impact is going to make to someone at the end of a tight road, right? Or when they really need it. So think about how you can be generous with your time, with your talent, and with your money. But it can start right now.
Yeah, that was so great. It's like I'm like, have you already read the Conscious Giver Guide? Because we actually start it just launched at noon, you guys, and Minda was here early, so she probably hasn't seen it yet. But but literally, like Thanksgiving, I can't tell you the number of questions I received from friends or friends of friends, pretty lost because they like every year I do X for Thanksgiving to volunteer. And I just don't know if it's safe for me to do it this year, or where I was what I supported wasn't taking volunteers in the same way. And so people really had to think and get creative. And at the end of the day, I was so impressed the way people stretched themselves and thought creatively about how they wanted to give this year. And I have been trying to figure out myself, because I live in DC in a mixed economic neighborhood, and I thought about some of the older neighbors that I have, and I thought, what can I do special for them, because they've been in the house all day long, all winter. So we this summer we had a go-go band just randomly, just randomly on our street, which was amazing. But I was trying to think of something, so I'll still kind of explore that. But definitely, I think that's a great message and a great push. That we really have to think about what all of our expertise is. And Gen Zs are so amazing. they are so they come up with so much. It's so amazing. So
They really do.
I'm just sort of like, did I do all that when I was their age? I don't remember.
Remember either. When I see certain things too, I'm like, God, I wish I was thinking of that at like 13.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's amazing, and it's so exciting. But I don't want to take a lot of your time, because you have contributed so much with just contributing to the Conscious Giving Guide and being so generous with your time today. So I want to again thank you for being a conscious giver, and being here today and really giving some inspirational words to everyone.
Thank you for this, because we all have the capacity to do something. We just have to decide what's that something we want to do. And so thank you for helping push us to continue being conscious givers.
Thank you so much, Minda. Everyone, thank you so much for it was so awesome having Minda. I actually, because the book I could not get to Mahogany Books in time, I decided to go to the library and get her book. So I just wanted you to see the cover before we close out today. Even I have my little stand here, but I just wanted to tell you that I will be here at the top of every hour all day long, and I will be with really amazing conscious givers, and you can learn a little bit more about how they're intentional and the impact that they're making in the world, as well as the featured organization. And please follow us at Instagram and Twitter at co-giving co-giving, and you can follow us and learn a lot more about what we're doing at the Conscious Giver Fund. Again, thanks, Minda.
Thank you.